Morning everyone. Not really sure what this video is going to be about, to be honest. It's a bit sort of unscripted, but totally unscripted, but I just thought I hadn't updated people for a while with kind of what's been going on and stuff. I know I've done some writing on my blog, but I know I haven't updated that for quite a while, so I just thought I'd try something a little bit different, seeing as it's a nice day and I'm just out for a wee walk because I'm not feeling too good, really. Yeah, pretty unhappy, kind of frustrated, quite a bit of pain, like I said in my last kind of update in my blog, which I wrote about, and yeah, quite a bit of pain. I might have just said that, so sorry if I did. But yeah, I'm a little bit kind of foggy, which isn't particularly easy to then go and do a video when you don't have any idea what you're going to talk about. Anyway, basically 2016 has kind of been pretty crap. Sorry about that, but yeah, just started off fairly similar to the end of the year, the end of 2015. Loads of pain, ribs, legs, hip, back, ankles, kind of gallbladder, which is a bit of a funny one, but I'm getting a scan of that to see if there's anything more going on. Anyway, I saw my neurologist on the 8th of March, and he sort of couldn't really find any sort of explanation for the sort of chronic, obviously long-term pain that I'm in pretty much everywhere from head to toe. So he's sent me for, he's referred me to rheumatology, which is coming up on Tuesday, this Tuesday, which is in a couple of days. So that's probably another reason why I'm a wee bit kind of, I don't know, fragile. Sorry, it's probably not the best word, but yeah, fragile. I'm a little bit kind of worried about it, to be honest. So yeah, the last couple of days, bit of a kind of unexpected health setback on Wednesday, sort of 4 days or so ago, which has kind of thrown me really sort of off a cliff. My mood, and I guess my physical health as well, to be fair, has really gone on a steep decline. Not that it was particularly good, but it was probably the best it had been for quite a while, to be fair. I had a good kind of few weeks. Things were kind of going fairly well. What are we now? May. In April I was I was at the MS Society Awards in London, which I've now been a finalist for 4 consecutive years that the awards have run, and I won an award in 2013 for MS Young Person of the Year, but I'm probably not very young anymore, so this year I was shortlisted in the digital media category for kind of stuff I do on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and just kind of general MS awareness raising and kind of talking to people and sharing a bit of my experiences and story and stuff, and I won the award, which was really good. But very unexpected. I know that seems like a typical thing people always say, but it genuinely was. I didn't really think about it. which probably explained why my little acceptance speech was kind of a little bit all over the place, really. But yeah, there's been some really nice comments from people who have said nice things about it, basically, so thanks for that. Yeah, so I kind of just was trying as much as possible, because things were really bad, like I said, physically, but probably particularly mentally, in the few weeks or even months leading up to the awards, which I think were the end of April off the top of my head. But yeah, leading up to then, I was just in a really bad place. Yeah, been getting, since December, I was seeing a psychiatrist up at one of the local hospitals, my local hospitals, and he put me in touch with a CPN, which is a community psychiatric nurse, which is kind of just someone who I could kind of speak to fairly regularly, generally every sort of week to 10 days, just to kind of talk about stuff, like a kind of counsellor. But she obviously had a wee input in terms of helping out with medication, and like a close input with the actual psychiatrist up at the hospital, who I see kind of every 6 weeks-ish. So yeah, I was put on a medication in December, I think. I might be wrong. December, by Dr. Gordon, the psychiatrist, and he prescribed me something called duloxetine, and I worked my way up to 90 milligrams a day, which is like 30 milligram tablets that comes in. Anyway, I really just continued to slide that way, downwards. And yeah, I found it really difficult to deal with pretty much anything. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to speak to anyone. I didn't want to see anyone. I didn't want to watch TV. I didn't want to read a book. I didn't even really want to go to bed and sleep. Everyone annoyed me. Everything annoyed me. And the smallest thing would just send me into a bit of a kind of oblivion. And it was a really dark time. Still is, obviously, as you can probably tell, as much as I'm trying to joke through it and, smile through it. Yeah, it still is really kind of dark, but yeah, particularly, oops, that's just my water. Yeah, just trying to kind of keep going, and things are not particularly great, but they're probably marginally better than they were in March, so I guess that's cause for a little bit of a celebration. Yeah, like I said, I was seeing CPN about every 10 days-ish, and I just felt, even though I was getting that every 10-day input, able to speak for an hour, sometimes even 2 hours, depending on if she could shut me up, about pretty much anything that was bothering me. But I think the sort of really difficult thing was a lot of the things that were bothering me I was unable to speak about. She was excellent, really nice person, and really kind of sort of easy to talk to, and that helped me talk about a lot of the easier things and just be able to have a bit of a sounding board. But yeah, some other things were really kind of difficult to talk about, but yeah, I was able to talk a lot about kind of my frustrations with health deterioration, not being able to really do any running or much running, which obviously was, well, hopefully maybe still, a kind of really big part of my life, and something which I find very obviously important for helping health-wise, particularly mental health-wise. To clear my head is probably the best way to describe it. But at the moment, it's just little bits and bobs on a kind of good, maybe not even a good day, but a good half an hour. To be totally kind of honest. So what was I saying? Talking to CPN. Sorry, everything's a little bit all over the place. I'm kind of not feeling very good. I'm a bit in a bit of, like I mentioned earlier, the last few days have kind of hit me a little bit hard. I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, I'm kind of slightly all over the place. So sorry for all the ums and ers and ums and ers. But yeah, I'll get to the point at some point. CPN input was kind of really beneficial, to be fair, and I've now been moved over to another CPN to start something called IPT, which is interpersonal psychotherapy or interpersonal therapy, which is looking at like my kind of relationships with people. And I don't really know too much more about it. I'm only on like the second kind of session. I think there's 16 weeks, so maybe that might help slightly. But yeah, during March, while I was on the duloxetine, I was fairly regularly, when I saw the CPN, I would kind of get you have to do what's called a PHQ-9 form, which I think PHQ, Personal Health Questionnaire 9, no idea. Wonder what the other 8 are. Anyway, whatever. I was kind of doing this PHQ-9 thing, which is questions like, in the last, I think, 2 weeks, how many days have you had trouble with your appetite? How many days have you had trouble sleeping? How many times have you felt like a burden to others or something like that? How many times have you felt like harming yourself in any way? And it was never, some days, most days, nearly every day or whatever, kind of every day. I kind of don't really think too much about these things. I just basically go with my gut feeling, which I guess is probably the right thing to do, and it gives an honest impression of how you are at that particular moment. And I was, in December I got 19 out of 27, which is bad. You want to be low. You don't want to be high. I think anything over, as far as I understand, anything over 20, so between 20 and the maximum of 27, is a marker of severe depression. And like I said, December was 19 before I started duloxetine. March was, February was 23, and then I think the start of April, or mid-April, was 24 out of 27, which didn't come as the biggest shock to me, because I knew how I felt, and I didn't want to do anything, see anyone, speak to anyone, no one to look at me. I just was basically trying to get literally through every day without basically falling apart. And it was really difficult. It still is really difficult, because I have a real big worry, maybe not the right word, but kind of concern with how other people perceive me and see me, and with the kind of physical health decline and problems in my legs and pain and stuff, I'm concerned that I kind of look different, and if I walk different, or if I don't know, I'm kind of very kind of insecure about how I look on a bad day. And like I said, that's physically, if I'm mobility's not, if I'm kind of looking like I'm in pain, or the other side, the kind of mental side, where I'm just kind of got the do not disturb sign on me, and people tiptoe around me, and or some people tiptoe around me, but I can kind of understand, because I do give off the impression that I don't want to talk, which seems a bit ironic because we're now 15 minutes and I've just talked a bit of crap. So sorry about that. Yeah, so I won the award I won the MS Society Award in April, and a lot of people were really kind of nice about it, and you know, it really did. I tried to not promise myself, but I tried to sort of cheesy, I know, like kind of ride the wave of it, to try and use it as a bit of a catalyst to try and feel good about it, for whether that lasted for an hour or a day or a week. Anything was better than how I was feeling, to be really honest. And yeah, I was trying my best at kind of work, and some things changed, and I was enjoying working with some really good kind of young people, and really kind of proud of what they were achieving. And it just, I don't know, it kind of gave me a tiny wee bit of light in the kind of really extremely dark place that I was in, as in the darkest place you could probably ever possibly be in. I'm not saying what I mean, but you can probably read between the lines. March, I just didn't want to be here. And yeah, I guess that's what bothers me about this new sort of downturn after having a fairly good spell. I'm just trying to do things to keep me as to keep me from going below that level. You know, trying to get out on a nice day and go for a walk, like I said, really nice. Sort of seeing friends, and just trying to keep generally kind of busy, if I can. So yeah, I think, you know, obviously I'm concerned a little bit about Tuesday, my award, sorry, not my award, what am I on about? My rheumatology appointment, and yeah, I'm kind of a bit anxious about it, which is probably why I'm struggling to kind of get the words out. People who kind of know me well know that I'm not really very good at speaking my feelings. I'm probably better, even though it takes me some time, I'm probably better at writing them down, because I can think about them, and I cannot just babble about it as a dog. It's fine. So yeah, I just want to say thanks to people who have helped me and kind of supported me, particularly recently. Friends, people at work, family in particular. You know, I've kind of had a few good things, like my brother got married at the weekend, and it was really good, and I actually really enjoyed it. And I kind of didn't expect to, but I allowed myself, if that makes sense, to enjoy it more, and it was just a really nice day. But yeah, so since then, this kind of week started fairly well, and I managed to go for a kind of run on Monday. The weather was really nice, and I kind of felt really kind of good. But woke up on Wednesday morning with sort of originally kind of I just thought I had kind of slept funny, because I kind of sleep on my left side, so it's like kind of just behind my ear. Just felt a little bit kind of numb. Didn't really think too much of it, but got up, or kind of fell up, just kind of crawled out of bed, and just felt like kind of this side, left side of my face, a little bit, well, pretty numb, but almost like I was kind of drooping, like the left side of my face was kind of like that. which kind of really bothered me because, like I said, I'm kind of concerned with how if I'm having a bad day, I'm concerned that I don't want anyone to kind of know about it or see it, in particular. So yeah, that was really kind of bothering me. But yeah, a few more steps, whole of my left arm, basically from middle of my bicep, I think, to all the way down to my fingers. Kind of heavy and dead and just not right. And then I realised, kind of on my way to work, pretty much, which is only like 5 minutes walk, it was the whole of my left leg as well. Like I was almost wearing, like a cast, or I think it's called a cam walker, where I think if you've broken your maybe toe or foot, or you've got some sort of tendon damage around your ankles, it's like a kind of hard boot. It was like I had one of them on, but where the kind of cast thing would sit against your leg and your foot was just like pins and needles. So obviously every step you took on the ground, every bit of pressure, every time you kind of moved your toes around in your shoes, even sitting down, when you're maybe not putting pressure on the ground, it was just really kind of uncomfortable. And everything was done right-handed for the few days, well, even now, kind of thing, mainly. But yeah, that really threw me, maybe understandably, I kind of hope, into a bit of a spell, because it was so unexpected, because I was in a fairly good way, a good moment, or a better moment than it had been for probably quite a while. So I just felt really bad that day, and I thought it's a classic sort of MS relapse kind of thing, because every time I've had a relapse before, well, most times I've had a relapse before, sorry, it's been something with my left side, generally left-sided numbness, pretty much lying down my body, leg, arm, face, has been an issue. So yeah, it obviously scared me, it frightened me, it worried me, it made me upset, and yeah, I just tried to get through the day, but also, along with the kind of physical sensations, symptoms that I was just saying, I had like the most kind of horrible brain fog. Obviously I've still got a little bit, as you can tell, but yeah, I just couldn't basically process anything, and everything had to be concentrated on, and literally everything, getting up from a seat, turning a tap on, washing your hands, and honestly, you wouldn't believe, even eating a sandwich, eating food, was just like I had to literally think everything through procedurally, like, what am I actually doing here? Gripping a tap, it's just kind of, you don't really appreciate it, obviously, because you don't think about these things. These are all things you learn when you're young, and obviously it's just in your procedural memory, if that's even a thing. And so I found myself sometimes not even kind of realizing, like, I was kneeling against a kind of pool table at my work, and standing with my head against a wall, and just completely zoned out, and like the most sort of intense kind of fatigue and stuff, that I just couldn't process anything. And like I said, I just wanted to kind of pretty much get through the day, but I obviously really wanted this to go away, and it continued Thursday, and on Friday, and even through to today, which is Sunday. And it's I'm really kind of concerned about it, but I think it just shows how unpredictable things like MS can kind of be. You just don't know when it's gonna sort of strike again, or even strike initially. Your first kind of symptoms. My first symptoms were 14. I was 14 years old and fairly healthy, I think. I played a lot of football, not particularly good at it, but I was always out pretty much every night with playing football, did a lot of swimming and stuff, and it just arrived when I didn't expect it. Anyway, I've written about that stuff before and spoken about that stuff before, so I'll try and I'll try and stop at some point. But yeah, the thing is, it's so many invisible things that people can't see, and obviously in some ways that's a good thing. You know, it's nice. Well, it's not nice. The ironic thing is actually that on Wednesday morning, on my sort of first day of this relapse, if it is, a member of staff at my work just kind of passed me in the corridor and said, you know, kind of, how are you doing? And I was like, I kind of said fine, which is often my answer, whether I'm good or bad. It's just the easiest thing to say. I'm sure other people with kind of chronic illness and things will realise it's often just the easiest thing to say, and I feel a bit bad that I do it, you know, but just sometimes it just feels like the right thing to do. Anyway, and I was saying, yeah, I'm alright, you know, just kind of a bit tired and stuff, and he was like, you know, it's like, oh, you're looking really well, you know, it's like, you know, you look at you look what is it, I think he said you're young and you're fit and stuff, and I said, yeah, I'm just trying to keep active and stuff, and I you know, I realise these things are obviously meant to say because I probably do look young, hopefully, and kind of active and sort of fit and stuff. But that's the biggest frustration, you know. Obviously, yes, I want to look well, I want to look young and fit and healthy, but also I know in my body, in my head, I feel really, really, really not good and so far from where I want to be, and I just think it just kind of highlights how you just don't know what anyone's kind of going through or feeling or thinking. Yeah, and it's just an invisible thing. The MS is obviously classed as an invisible illness. The depression side of things that's really, really been a big factor in my health for quite a while, is hard to kind of deal with. But yeah, it's when people, but you look so good. I'm really sorry, this is just all over the place. I'm gonna cut it short. Well, cut it short, he says, 28 minutes and 34 seconds after starting. I just want to thank everyone for helping me and supporting me and kind of saying nice things to me. I don't allow myself, and this is another big problem, and maybe this will improve with me doing this therapy with the CPN and stuff, but it's like I find it really hard to accept praise. Someone will criticise me and I'll be like, yeah, I totally agree. Someone will praise me for whatever, say I'm strong or I'm sort of an inspiration and all this, and I just kind of don't allow myself to believe it or agree with it, but it doesn't mean that I don't appreciate it. That's why I really want to kind of stress. I do appreciate when people say nice things. It doesn't mean I don't it doesn't mean I don't appreciate it. I just one day I will, and one day I'll look back at stuff and you know, it will mean even more to me than it already does. It does mean a lot when people say nice things. Not that I'm requesting nice things to be said, but yeah, I really want to thank people for helping me and supporting me, and yeah, like I said, I'm just a little bit bad place, bad kind of health in the last sort of few days, and probably really kind of nervous and anxious about my Tuesday appointment with my first rheumatology appointment. I've been told, or if my understanding, my GP's understanding is it'll be like blood tests and stuff to test for potentially. My neurologist, the reason he sent me was because he was wondering if I have anything kind of more going on than MS. So that's why he referred me. The referral's taken a while. It's on Tuesday, and yeah. So my GP claims it'll be like blood tests to check for things like rheumatoid arthritis. Maybe my psychiatrist thinks they could be looking for things like fibromyalgia, like a chronic pain condition. But like my GP also thinks potentially well, fairly sure she is about them doing a muscle biopsy, which I'm kind of sort of hoping for in a way, because you know, my legs are really bothering me quite a bit. It's like a dead heaviness, tight kind of thing. No lesions at all in my, well, I've had an MRI scan a few weeks ago. I've not got the results, but as of my last MRI scan about 6 months ago, no lesions in my spinal cord whatsoever. So I don't know, there's a lot of kind of frustration, and which I've mentioned in my blog. I'll probably put the link somewhere if I can in this video, or underneath the video, wherever I'm even going to put it, but like I said, it may not even reach the internet. But yeah, if it does, I'll put the link, and if you want to read stuff from before, then yeah, that would be appreciated. But yeah, like I said, I've never done a video before. It's all very waffly. I'm a little bit foggy. But yeah, I just wanted to try a little bit different. So, but anyway, thank you again very much for your support. And I'm just gonna try and do everything I can to keep going, physically, mentally, just to keep doing the things that I've done, keep busy, keep walking if I can, keep sort of out if it's a nice day. Yeah, so thank you very much, and I will maybe speak to you again soon. See you later.